All right, welcome to my mediocre guide to being a bard. All the commentary I'm making is in real time while I'm doing this, so if I screw up and say something stupid, you know why. Obviously, make sure you have Wanderer's Minuet on. A lot of people will argue with you on that. I always see my numbers are better with it on. On a pull like this, where it's 3 or less, I generally try to get a straight shot followed by a Rain of Death, and then I dot everything up, and that usually gets me more Rain of Death procs, and then I go from there. I'm not putting down Flaming Arrow because the next pull there are a bunch more mobs, so I'm holding off on that in favor of doing more damage later. Just kind of keep tabbing around and maintaining your dots on everything, and then going through a normal DPS rotation with the exception of Rain of Death procs. Sometimes the Flaming Arrow macro can be a little finicky. When you have more than 3 targets, I usually put a couple dots up and then just spam AoEs because it's a little more efficient, especially on a quick, easy pull like this. My favorite part of this entire dungeon. So, to start off, I've got one black mage in the group, so I'm going to try and keep up Foe Requiem as much as I possibly can. Other than that, I usually just blow all my cooldowns at the beginning, just because I don't really have a set thing for them. And then I just roll them and pop them as soon as they come back up during the fight. This boss is nice because I can get a lot of standing still. When I'm applying my dots, I usually go Venomous Bite, then Barrage with Imperial Arrow, and then Wind Bite. The reason behind that is when I apply my dots like that, then my Imperial Arrow can be recast right before Iron Jaws, and my dots won't fall off. Just like that. You can see I can still get a lot of movement in even when I have Wanderer's Minuet up. That's what I really like about this class. I'm just going to stand still. Now, if I really do need to get a ton of movement in, I can always drop Wanderer's Minuet and just DPS for a bit like that. So you want to keep an eye on your Bloodletter procs. Always, throw out Bloodletter when you can. Keep in mind that Imperial Arrow clips the GCD, so you can use it to weave in quite nicely. Keep an eye on all your cooldowns coming back up. Flaming Arrow and Sidewinder have the same cooldown. So if one's coming up, then the other one is probably coming up again as well. I generally like to pop Barrage with Imperial Arrow because it's your hardest hitting ability, weapon skill that's non-crit. So it gives you 3 hits all in a row. They're all around 2k if you're geared like I am. Also, when you pop Foe Requiem, stand a little bit further back because it will pull the boss, and you don't want to do that because tanks get mad at you. So you see me weave Imperial Arrow in between my dots right here. Works out quite nicely. I'm not going to stand on this Black Mage because it's a good habit to get into because Black Mages have their ley lines down. And so if you get to the point where you're standing on them and you get an AoE on you, it forces them to move off their ley lines. And it's just kind of common courtesy not to do that. Ley lines buff their damage and reduce their cast times, I think. I don't really know. My Black Mage is like level 32. See how I just kind of shuffle my feet a little bit, and then when I get instant casts, I'll use that to move even further. If I'm standing right in there in melee, when he does his drill attack that you need to run away, I'll just repelling shot away from it. Now here's barrage up again. You'll be able to see my numbers go out. So I get 3 attacks there. Stand in a little closer. I can show you the repelling shot with the drill if it happens again. You might die before that though. This macro that I have for flaming arrow is quite nice as well. There's the drill, repelling shot, keep DPSing. See, I would have died if I had been in melee. Repelling shot is love. I got an instant cast straight shot there, so I used that to move back into range here. With this rotation, your dots should never fall off, unless you're running around or you get CC'd or something like that. Then it's kind of understandable. I'm not going to use Faux Requiem here because I'm trying to save my overall buffs and whatnot for the last boss. I guess we're waiting for the other. They're both tanking in Sword Oath, so I guess the other one needs to put on Shield Oath. There we go. Now I'm not going to refresh my my cooldowns when they come up again because I'm trying to save them all for the last boss again. All right, this one's where you have to move a little bit more. The last boss is where you have to move the most, and that's where I'll generally start to employ the strategy of dropping Wanderer's Minuet in favor of getting close to the boss before he does a pushback. And I'll show you that coming up here. Alright, he needs 4 people. Didn't get the 4. The number of balls that are in that circle are the number of people that need to stack into it. I'm kind of a button spammer. You can kind of see that. Which is why I have a mouse with, the 12 buttons on the side. It makes button spamming a little bit easier. Alright, so I should have time for one more Sidewinder, and then the cooldown should be up again when we start the next boss. Oh shit, I didn't make it in time. Now, you'll see I didn't cast a Bloodletter there when I should have. It's mostly because I was trying to make sure I got everything cast before my dots fell off. Make sure I got Iron Jaws up before my dots fell. Don't want to get a height error. Done. Alright, we're on to the last boss, and all my cooldowns should be rolling up here pretty soon. Depends on how long we take to pull. Looks like they're both going into shield. Nope, one's back to Sword Oath. Boom, boom, boom. And I forgot to cast I should have cast Faux Requiem first, so I didn't waste all this time with my buffs up. So real quick, Barrage, Imperial Arrow, Wind Bite. When I see this guy start to cast his pushback, I forget what it's called, you'll see me, I will try to drop Wanderer's Minuet. There. So I dropped Wanderer's Minuet, and now I'm standing in here. It gives me a little bit extra damage before I can turn it back on. It lets me move around while I'm being knocked back. Oop. Someone else has got that. I'll stand here anyways. Might as well. Shoot. Okay, good. I managed to drop Wanderers right at the end there. I was trying to make sure I refreshed my dots before he got us pushed back. There's Ultra Flash. Use my instant cast straight shot in order to get behind the iceberg. No biggie. I've got Hawkeye coming back up there. Now I'm going to hold off just a sec on Imperial Arrow so I can get the barrage off and make the best use of it. Super Cyclone's coming in, so I'm dropping Wonder's Minuet and running. Now Wonders is back up. Gonna have to move here. Alright, Raging Strikes. I shouldn't have to move all that much right now. Inner release, or internal release. No, go off. Yes. See, I dropped it right at the last second. I managed to get my Iron Jaws off. Got really lucky there. A little server lag. Let me get the Iron Jaws off. It's not terribly difficult to balance dots and whatnot. It just takes getting used to. A lot of getting used to. And here we go. We're almost done. Alright. That was fun. Let's give a tank a calm. And rolled crappy. Cool. All I need is bolts. I always roll terribly on them. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. I probably screwed some things up. Feel free to yell at me about them if you wish to. Have a great day.